Well, good morning, welcome to Thought for the Day. As Christians, we talk a lot, don't we, about grace. And that's right, because God has shown us amazing grace. God's sent his Son to die for us. We are people who are blessed amazingly in ways we don't deserve in the slightest. And hopefully that's at the heart of that is at the heart of the Christian faith. Hopefully that's the heart of your Christian experience, to know that sense of being forgiven, being accepted, not because of who you are, but because of what God has done for you, what Jesus has done for you. But I wondered how often we actually show that grace to ourselves. Not long ago, I had a rather discouraging afternoon. There were a number of things I was hoping to get moving, things that mattered quite a lot to me. And just in the course of one afternoon, I just got discouragements on one front after another. Not people let me down, seeing it a different way. At the same time, some of the things I was trying to do myself that afternoon took a lot longer. And I just sort of spiraled downwards into the dumps. I just felt, this is all going nowhere. How am I going to cope with this? I was gloomy all that evening. Even in the night, I didn't sleep well. I was awake in the night, worrying about how I can resolve these situations, how I can get people to see things differently. I had a terrible night. The following night, I slept like a log. Wonderful, deep night's sleep. A good, relaxed evening. What had changed? Well, actually, absolutely nothing had changed. I'd had a really busy day. Because of the bad night, I've been really tired. I hadn't managed to make progress on any of the things that were worrying me. There were lots of people I needed to talk to. I hadn't talked to a single one of them. I know the only thing that had changed was that I'd stopped punishing myself. And as I reflected on it, I realised that there's something in me that says, if I've done things wrong, if I have not managed to put things right to people, and they come back and don't do what I was hoping they'd do, I failed, and somehow I deserve to punish myself. I've got to be gloomy for a time because I deserve it. I haven't done things well. I'm supposed to lead people. I'm supposed to set a vision. I'm supposed to help people move to it. If I haven't, I need to punish myself. But what dawned on me is, hold on. God doesn't punish. God is not a God who longs to punish us. God shows us grace. Why, Tommy, are you not showing yourself the same grace that God shows you? It was quite a deep thought. There was absolutely no difference between that terrible night I had, worrying, stressed, all the rest of it, and the one, actually, in some ways worse, a day later. Another day had passed and I still hadn't done those things that were outstanding. These problems were still there, but there was one day less to sort them out. The change was in me. Now, I'm not saying there's a kind of advocating a kind of lazy let go and let God. That saying has merit in some circumstances, but it's not that. I mean, Paul writes, doesn't he, that he beats his body to try to finish the race. But we need to remember that the beating his body that he's talking about training, about that pushing on to run a little bit harder, working to follow Jesus faithfully. It's not punishing his body, but rather developing it. It's not a sort of woe is me attitude. Oh, I'm useless. Oh, bash my head against a brick wall or something. No, it's a I can do it with God's strength. In God's strength, I can do it. and it's right to give everything we've got to following Jesus with all that we are. But if we fail, or should I say when we fail, because we do, we will. If, or rather when others fail us, or disappoint us, that's the time to say, how are we going to respond then? Are we going to remember at that point that God is a God of grace? That He's not surprised by what's happening. He's not surprised by our weakness. He's not surprised that other people haven't seen things quite the way we did. And we're going to let God pour His grace into us at those times. Set aside the instinct which says, oh, I've got to be down in the dumps about this. And we'll rejoice once again that God's grace is sufficient. God's grace is sufficient even when we've failed, even when we've not done what we should, even when things are going against us. God's grace is sufficient for those times too. We show ourselves a bit of God's grace through today. And may God bless you. And I'll speak to you again later in the week.